Something something Torqueflite. Where's the kickdown?
All right, so no. So if you're a fan of this channel, chances are you own a Mopar, and chances again are that Mopar has a Torqueflite automatic transmission. All of our Mopars that we have on the show, they all have automatic based Torqueflite transmission. Some are 904s, some are 727s. None of ours shift themselves automatically. Chances are yours does. And so with that being said, it's very, very important that your kickdown linkage be set correctly. Your kickdown linkage basically is the communication linkage between your throttle position and the hydraulic brain that is the valve body inside your transmission. So it's constantly varying the pressure inside the valve body or whatever for applying clutches and so on and so forth. It's full of voodoo. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what the hell is going on, but I do know that it's very, very important that your kickdown be set up correctly. That being said, none of the cars that we feature on this channel incorporate a kickdown whatsoever. And the reason behind that is that two of our vehicles have Cope Racing product valve bodies. They're full manual reverse pattern. The Death Pumpkin is a big block based 727, and it has the TransBrake equipped full manual reverse pattern valve body. The Triple Pickle, the 73 Dodge Dart, a 904 Torqueflite, and that incorporates one of Cope's Racing manual valve bodies as well. And that one's not equipped with a TransBrake, but it's a reverse pattern full manual. And none of those valve bodies require that you have a kickdown assembly whatsoever. So the valve bodies, I believe, from the company are set at full pressure, I guess, right out of the box. So, and I think you can probably get a street version of that valve body or a more strip oriented version of it. The Nacho Cuda has got a small block 727 base Torqueflite, and we've actually programmed the valve body in this with a TransGo TF3 kit. So a TF3 kit is a full manual, but it's a forward pattern, all right? And the kit instructions have kind of evolved over the years, maybe not by a lot, but by some, where they don't mention anything about wiring your kickdown lever back. They used to, like, say 20, 25, 30 years ago, they used to mention, and this is kind of almost a quote from the directions, but if your rig is not equipped with a kickdown, you need to wire your kickdown lever back. Okay, so the current directions don't mention that at all whatsoever. They actually show you gauging the distance between the throttle lever and the kickdown valve. So they're assuming that you are going to run a kickdown in your full manual valve body transmission that you've reprogrammed from their kit. Okay, and I get that. I mean, it's not a bad idea. If you're just kind of cruising under light throttle going down the street, it's not really necessary the valve body see full pressure, I guess. So it doesn't have to be a bone-jarring shift, as you're going down Main Street. So yeah, they're depending on you running the kickdown, okay? But I remember from the old days that they used to give you the second option of not running a kickdown. So that's what I've kind of done with the Barracuda. And I don't know if we covered how we dealt with that or not, but we're going to show you how we're going to deal with it on the 904 that we're going to throw in the Dodge D50. So it'll be just kind of a little, I mean, to me it's going to be a little bit kind of a neater modification, as opposed to wiring the throttle lever back. All right, And there was a time when I've actually used a turnbuckle and actually forced it back with a turnbuckle and attached it to the one assembly boss on the outside of the transmission. But you know what? That stuff's kind of, it's all a bunch of junk kind of in the way. So we're going to deal with it by not doing that. We'll show you here in a minute. All right. So stick around. All right, so let's get into the kit. All right, so here's your instructions, and they're big and they're well written. Okay, so do yourself a favor, kind of go through these instructions a couple times. All right, just kind of familiarize yourself with it. And as you can see here, I've X'd out some spots that don't really pertain to me. So this is a 904. This does cover 727 and 904, but there is some 727 stuff that won't be necessary. Okay, here's what you get in the box. Here's a spring. This part here is probably for the 727, the rear servo spring. This one's the 904 one, so we'll actually have to take our rear servo out and install this spring. Okay, just leave it right there for now. You got some assorted springs, a couple of plugs. One's got an orifice, and there's actually one that is just a plug. It's probably in here somewhere. There's a torque command plate, and from I don't really understand how this works, but if you look at it, it looks like it will. How's it go on? Does it go on like this? I think it goes on like this, so it leaves this hole open, but it kind of seals this hole off. That's all I can figure. Okay. It comes with this little fixture or jig or whatever, and that's for drilling into the casting. And so what's unusual about this is it's already got, somebody already went in here before and drilled the hole in this casting. There are several variations of the TransGo shift kits. Some of them are like a systems correction kit, no yo-yo, stuff like that. There's a TF1, which is an entry level, probably just more like a heavy duty for towing or whatever. And maybe for, say, fleet vehicles like taxi cabs, cop cars, stuff like that. The TF2 is the next step up, and it's a full automatic, and it's got really good, positive, firm shifts. The TF3 is full manual. That's what we're doing here. So as you get into the kit here, our manual valve will be swapped out for the one that's in the kit. Okay, that's right here, and the kit actually has something known as the mumbly peg, I think, which is kind of a funny name. But here's this valve will go in place of this valve here. All right, our TV plunger will actually reduce this to 9/32. All right, and then I think the spring here gets replaced also. There's a handful of springs that get replaced, I guess, as you go through it. All right, we'll need to drill a hole in the casting at this point here, and I think we drill a hole through here, and we actually file a slot right here where I have these black marks. Okay, we'll need to drill a couple holes in our transfer plate here, for my build or whatever, and then here also. You may have to drill additional holes, okay, depending on the year of your valve body. Then on this casting, we drill a couple of holes here, and then it gets ends up getting this little transfer slot, sort of rig, kind of like whatever, in place there. Then it gets that cover plate then on top of it. All right. So let's see, what else we got here. So this is 727 rear servo piston, and so that doesn't pertain to me, so I've kind of X'd that stuff out. I guess I already went through it, but our 904 has this short plane spring that's going to go in our rear servo, so I'll have to take that apart. Accumulator piston spring, it gives you instructions for what to do there. There's an orifice cup plug that goes in up here. That's for a 727. There's a solid cup plug that goes in back here, and that does not have a hole in it back here. So, and like I said, you just gotta kind of go through the instructions and get it right. I've accessed out because this is 77 up. Mine's 66, 76, so I'll have to do this. Put a blue spring in there. Make an adjustment to the pressure, the PR adjust screw. It shows putting that shift command plate in place. It shows using a 3/16 inch bit. Check your clearance here. Okay. Shows transfer plate holes that need to be enlarged. And if it doesn't require a hole, it doesn't get one. Okay, so like in my case here, the transfer plate, it's got these two little holes here. Mine's actually got one big single hole here. Okay, so I just leave that alone basically. Okay. Line bypass ball and spring. Mine's got that, but it says here to drill a 3/16 inch hole in the side of the casting here. Deburr the hole, install the white spring and the 3/8 inch ball. Okay, and I've got that sitting over there in this. Okay. This is a kick down valve or whatever, valve assembly, and my valve body doesn't have that. Let's see. Yeah, then you replace like there's an orange spring there. Reuse these. This governor valve, we actually have to modify it, so it goes from this, and here's my governor valve. Mine looks like this. Okay, but I'm gonna have to make it look like that. Okay, so not too difficult. There's also a little spring that comes in the kit, and then you measure your drill bit, so it's 7/16, and that's basically for a hole in the casting that's already been done for us. So that's kind of all right. So yeah, this kit does not work for 60 to 65 models that have the rear pump. All right, and also it does not work for torque converter, for lockup converter valve bodies, but they do say see page 6, and they've got a kind of a workaround, I guess. So, and it's kind of at your own discretion, I guess, as far as I can kind of tell just by quickly looking at this. They kind of tell you how you can do it if you really think you absolutely have to, and you'll have a lockup converter if your shaft is machined smooth on the very tip of the input shaft. All right, so that would tell you that you have a lockup converter or a lockup transmission. There's also this line here inside the valve body. So, but you can actually what the hell? Yeah, you can order a test torque converter from your torque converter supply company. So it doesn't have a clutch in it. So, but anyway. That's up to you. I don't think they recommend it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get set up and start drilling. So our instructions have us filing a slot right here with a file, okay, about halfway through the casting. All right. So it's not picky about that. We also, in our case, we drilled a 0.046 hole in this casting here. What else did we do? Well, we still have to drill another hole in this yet. 3/16 hole where this check ball and spring was at. Okay, that's right there. Then we drill this hole's already been drilled, but a 3/16 hole here using the little fixture they give you here. Okay, and that just bolts into place, and then you set your bit with the guide that they install, or they include also. The .046 bit was supposed to be included in the kit, but I can't find it anywhere. So, all right, we'll be back. Our throttle valve needs to be ground down to 9/32 of an inch. That's, you know, just a pube over a quarter, basically. And then the kit gives you the choice between a pink spring or a yellow spring. That'll go on in here. And it's whichever one matches the diameter of your old spring. So in our case, the yellow spring is going to go here. So we drilled a 3/16 inch hole in the casting here where the spring and check ball goes. Okay, and that was kind of like this. All right. Oh no. Like so. All right. You make sure you deburr the hole from the inside, and then replace this spring with the white one that's in the kit. Oh, geez, there it goes. So there it goes. All right. So we'll get rid of this. Install this when it comes time to it. All right. The instructions want you to whittle away at your governor valve, and typically it looks like this. They want you to grind it so that it looks like this, 1/8 inch to 3/32 of an inch, and then this area here, B, should be the same diameter as this end here. So we just took it over to the bench grinder, and it's a little sketchy, but and it gets hot. But so have a little bit of water with you, but grind it so it looks like that. So occasionally we'll take it over to our machinist buddy and have him do these because it turns out really good that way. Back here are 1 through 2 shift valve. That gets an orange spring. All right, and so when we reassemble it, we'll install that with it. So now we're gonna yeah. We're gonna drill some holes in the transfer plate or the separator plate. All right, and it's got us doing this transfer plate mod also. So we'll drill a couple of holes in the casting here, and I'll go ahead and get set up for that, and then show you what we got done. So there we have it. What?
Scratch it on the ground.
You bet, yeah. That's not in the directions anymore.
We gotta find an old direction set.
We should, right? So that's a transfer plate, I guess mod anyway, and there's a hole here and a hole here on the back side. So yeah, this plate. So once you start assembling everything, this plate will go here, and then this cover plate goes on top of that. So it just makes a little channel from that side to that side. And I guess I was kind of wrong. There was actually a .046 drill bit in the bag, but it's so small. I mean, anyway, we've got her. So the instructions have you throw in a solid plug, I guess, hammered it in with a 5/16 punch. All right, I couldn't find a punch, so I'm just going to use a drill bit that I don't care about because it's Jeremy's drill bit. There we go. Good enough. You know, this is a purple spring. What the hell's up with that? This one's purple. I wonder if it's the same. It's not the same spring. That thing's got way more tension on it than this one. So here's the issue. According to our TransGo TF3 kit, we need to replace this spring with the factory one, right? But guess what we've done? We've already thrown this transmission kind of together. So, and there's no real way to take this apart with this in the way. So what we're going to do is we took the tail shaft housing off, and we need to remove this shaft in here that holds this in place. And how we can do that, Jeremy?
With a valve body bolt.
Way to go.
Get it
so the inside
good and cross.
Yeah, the inside the inside of the shaft is actually threaded. What thread pitch is that? I think it's less than quarter. It's probably 10 something. That's all there is to it.
We got an O-ring here. We should probably see we have one.
We do. I'm sure we have to, because I yeah.
Let's see. There's the threads.
Hard to see. But now that should that should come out then.
There we go.
Just like so. So there you have it.
And then we'll show the
difference. So this is kind of odd because this has got some purple on it, right? Is that purple, or why am I asking you? But
shut up, Jay. Suck it, J-Bo. So less coils, less height, but substantially stiffer.
Right.
Right, I'll hold the camera. You put it in.
I was gonna say, you want me to keep her going while you thumb it in there?
These look like Vienna sausages to you? Oh, that's much more substantial.
What are we gonna do? What?
Get a C-clamp.
Hey, do I have a oh, I suppose that. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get on with our final clean. All right, and you'll want to make sure that the valve body is it's machined. It's got tight tolerances. You want to make sure that there's nothing in it. It needs to be spotless. So take your time, clean it. Get yourself a 6-pack of carb cleaner, and some compressed air really comes in handy. So just really go at it and make sure it's spotless. All right. So, and then as we go, we'll test our valves and make sure that they slide, in their corresponding channels and whatnot, freely. So if you have something that's sticking a little bit, you might want to dress it. And I actually used some 2000 grit sandpaper on a couple of them that seemed to be sticking. Okay, so just pay attention. All right. So anyway, with that, we'll get into the final clean, and then we'll set up for some highlights. All right, stick around. Okay, so here we're going to install our Sonic style detent pill, I guess you could call it, kind of a bullet shape. All right, so there's a spring in there. It just stabilizes that better than the spring and ball that used to be there. The TransGo kit includes what's known as the mumbly peg. Kind of a funny name for this, but it's cupped on this side, pointed on this side, so the point will actually stick, kind of into this, and the cup side will go toward your ball end of the detent deal. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to install our new manual valve that comes with the kit. All right, so this will we'll actually go ahead and install this, and then check. We got to check the lands and make sure that they're in the correct position. Okay, and if we need to make an adjustment, we'll make an adjustment with this little arm tip here. Okay, so that fits in here, kind of like so. Okay, and it moves this valve back and forth. But this valve, these lands need to be in the correct position, and if they're not, then we'll make our adjustments with this little arm tip here. Okay, so. Mumbly peg. All right. So that kind of sticks a little bit. I'm going to have to check that out. So we've got an issue with this this pill, and just to be clear, this is not a Sonic's pill, but it's like it somewhat. But the spring itself, it doesn't stick inside the pill, but the pill itself will actually stick in the casting itself, the bore in the casting. So, all right. So I guess what I'm thinking is going on is there's actually a pin in the back of it, and they drill a hole and put this pin in place so that it retains the spring. Then they swedge it, so the swedge must have distorted the metal in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grind the very end of the pill and ensure that it slides back and forth easily before I continue with that. All right. So this went over. I chucked it in my drill and then took it over the bench grinder, and then just kind of beveled the very end. All right. And now she slides in and right back out. Wait, what? Maybe I'll have to polish on it a little bit more. Second, third, neutral, reverse, park. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm guessing this is partition A, and this is the land we're looking at. It needs to be flush with, with the right. I guess it depends on how you're holding. Okay, yeah, you need to be holding it in this direction. I got it wrong. But anyway, yeah, that land needs to be flush with this partition right here. So when it appears that ours is, if it wasn't, then we'd go ahead and we'd bend the arm tip so that lined it up. But this looks like it's good to go. All right. Okay, I'll need to tighten this jam nut, but I do need to take a measurement here with a 3/16 inch drill bit. But I'll do that when I get everything else screwed together. Let's see, there's our 1 through 2 modified governor valve, a shuttle spring and plug. Two 3 governor plug. Okay, this one here kind of sticks a little bit. That is, it just doesn't want to, it needs to go in its bore, I guess, before I can throw that plate on it, but it's under some spring tension. I'm going to snug these all up later. The torque spec is 35 inch-pounds, or, you know, tighten them with just a Phillips screwdriver. Tighten them up, snug them up good. Tighten them hard with a screwdriver. Some valve bodies have like a 6-screw cover plate here in this area. Ours just has 4, so we just removed it just to clean it. So we'll just simply reinstall this plate. All right, we got some balls left over here. Okay, they're going to go inside. We've got 5 1/4-inch balls, and then one 11/32 ball. And you want to make sure you don't confuse that with the 3/8 ball. I kind of kept it separated with a piece of tape here. This is the line bypass ball and spring. Okay, and that'll go in this location here. All right. For our purposes, we're not going to install a ball that was previously in location 2, I guess, according to our directions. So and our 11/32 ball goes in this channel. Ball goes there. Ball goes there. No ball here. That's our ball left over. All right. That'll go in this location here like so. All right. You want to make sure there's no sticker residue on it. Here's a transfer plate. Sometimes you'll have additional items that go in here, maybe a filter or maybe another check balls. Ours doesn't have anything, so we'll go ahead and install the separator plate on top. And then it's like a stiffener plate, and they're kind of different shapes. Then we'll go ahead and we'll throw these short screws in finger tight. Okay, you want to go ahead and tighten your transfer plate screws to 35 inch-pounds, all right? And then we'll go ahead and assemble the separator plate to the main valve body casting. These are longer. These are slotted in this case. Straight screwdriver. Okay, so our kit comes with what's known as a shift command plate. Okay, and that'll take the place of these screws here. The kit provides screws. They must be a little bit longer or whatever. That'll go in the place of these screws here. So I'll remove these screws, and then the shift command plate goes one way. I guess it goes like what? Doesn't go like that. No. I go like this. Goes like that. So I don't know, for whatever purposes, this basically kind of blocks this orifice here. So don't ask me why, I just do. Okay, and then the kit gives you it's a transfer plate of some sort. Okay, and previously we had drilled 2 holes in the casting, and we'll need to discard this screw, and we'll use the kit installed, the kit provided screw. So this is like a transfer plate and then a cover plate. All right, and that'll go right like this. This will This will depend on the valve body, the main valve body screws to hold this in place also, okay? So, and then when tightening all these screws, you want to start at the center and work your way to the outside, all right? All right, the kit directions want you to adjust this Allen. It's a 3/16 Allen, and they want you to adjust this plate so that it's touching the top of the spring retainer. All right, maybe I'll do that right now, or maybe it'd be better if I did it with it in place, but I think it'd be better if I did it now. So once you get the spring retainer, I call it a cage, I guess, spring retainer in place, you want to turn this Allen head. It's a 3/16 Allen. You want to turn it clockwise until this plate comes up flush against the retainer itself. All right. For just a street strip car or whatever, or a street car, that's where you want it. All right. You could actually turn this counterclockwise up to like 4 turns or whatever for a drag race only car, something that's going to be trailered all the time, okay? But for our purposes, we're going to do exactly what we did here. So next we'll have to make an adjustment with our throttle valve adjustment here, okay? And we'll get that with we'll get a 3/16 drill bit, and we'll adjust the screw down and then lock the nut. All right, so I've been actually okay, so I've been actually installing a kit like this, probably like TF2, TF3 kits for maybe 30 years or so. That's not to say that I've memorized, how to do it, but there are a few things that I've noticed that have changed over the years. And one of those things is your kickdown. So the old kits, the old TF3 kits stated that if your rig does not have a kickdown, assembly, that Gold Ruberg, whatever, bell crank and all that stuff. And if you're not going to use like the low car cable or whatever, you could actually take and wire your kickdown lever so that it was in the wide open throttle position. All right. So now the modern kits, they don't actually state that anymore. So I believe they actually want you to incorporate your kickdown. Okay. So, and I get that, because do you want a jarring shift, when you're just kind of putzing down the street? Maybe not, but it doesn't really bother me. So your kickdown assembly would make it a little more street friendly, I guess. Wide open throttle is gonna bang, each gear. Okay, so with that in mind, what we usually do anymore is, in my case, I'm not gonna install a kickdown. Okay, but and I'm not gonna install this lever and then wire it back or whatever. Usually, what I do is I don't know if I can do it. Usually what I do is I get a stack of washers and put them on the screw here, so that this actually pushes that kickdown valve, all the way in, okay? And then you can adjust the slack with the screw and then lock the lock nut, okay? So that's what I'm going to do in this case. Or did you even see that? So, but anyway, the washers, you'll find some washers. Or we've machined like a little bushing or whatever before too, that has the same diameter as the screw, and then we put it in this place, so that it's pressing down on the kickdown valve, and that's going to give you more throttle pressure, I guess, all the time. So, but to me, it's not a big deal. Okay, so at your own risk, I guess. So when it's all said and done, all you should have left after your build is 5 screws and a check ball. The 5 screws were replaced by the screws that came with the kit, all right? And the extra check ball was eliminated because of the instructions of the kit. So there you have it. You shouldn't have any extra parts, all right? And so I guess that's going to conclude our valve body build for this episode, or this segment, I guess, or whatever. So if you've liked it so far, give us a thumbs up, all right? And until next time, see you later.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got